what the Bombera racing team is to lift up Christ through racing. And so this is Martin Plowman, and he is a racer and a wonderful guy. Martin, tell everybody what got you interested in racing to begin with.
I'm not too sure, but I want to know how I can win this this big kid racer here. I'll race you. I don't know, I got into racing at 8 years old. My parents worked full-time, and afterwards they were working full-time, and we just weren't spending time together as a family. So we bought a second-hand go-kart when I was 7 years old, and then we just went to the track to get away as a family. And then racing just kind of consumes you. I mean, I discovered that I had some level of ability to go racing from an early age. I was very blessed that my parents could afford to sustain that expensive hobby, because go-karting is not cheap. But I mean, you know, we could go out racing and buy a cart and get an engine and maintain it, and then we'd go racing. We'd have a camper, and we raced locally. Then we went to the regional races, and then next thing you know, I'm racing nationally and, you know, gaining, you know, championships. But going through the ranks to get to IndyCar today, people ask me, how did you become an IndyCar driver? And honestly, I don't know why I got this far. It's simply because of the people that I've met along the way who believe in me. You know, we'll talk about the faith later, but for me, I just feel I don't deserve to be here. And somebody told me that God has a way of using nobodies. So I take comfort in knowing that I'm a nobody, and I'm very blessed that God has chosen me to do something that I love.
That's wonderful, but I can tell you, you've probably beaten a few people too in that car. It is a skill that God's given you, and I thank you for that. But when you're driving out there on the racetrack and you're going 200 plus miles per hour, this may be a silly question, but what goes through your mind at that time as you're around those turns or driving in different races?
The honest answer is not a lot, because if you think about what you're doing, then you realize how stupid you are and you should back down. But my background from Europe, as you can tell, my accent's not from around here. I'm from the hills of Kentucky. No, I'm not. but I'm originally from Birmingham, England, and I moved to America about 3 years ago. So over there, they do mostly road course racing. And over here in America, you know, they have a lot of ovals, which they don't have in the rest of the world. So the first time I went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and went flat out into turn one for the first time, I swear I saw Jesus telling me to slow down.
I feel that sometimes driving with my wife. Just kidding. That is terrible. The truth is, she's a great driver. She's the one that prays a lot when we drive. But another thing that I think is really amazing today, and especially right now in our culture, are athletes and racers and people in public forums that stand up for Christ. You know, I think about Jeremy Lin, we hear a lot about in basketball. You hear a lot about guys like Tim Tebow playing football, and how they stand up for Christ through forums. In your racing, how does your faith play a role in what you're doing today in Jesus Christ?
You know, for me, if I'm really honest, I grew up in a Church of England school, and you know, I was taught the scripture, but I've never really had discovered my faith until a few years ago. But faith plays a big part for me, because doing what I do, it's a very individualistic sport and almost egotistical. You know, you're out there, you know, you're just that superstar to these people out there. You're racing fast cars. It looks like a glamorous life, but really, when you incur it, it's not. Faith is really what I found home in, because it gives you a foundation to stay humble and to realize that you are extremely blessed to do what you do. I mean, I could be working in an office right now, and like I said, I don't know why I got this opportunity. You know, clearly I could drive, but there's a lot of other kids out there who could drive also, but you know, I was just blessed to do what I do. So for me, faith is giving me a chance to see beyond myself and to break away from this ego that these sports stars have, and realize that because I have a voice, you know, because I'm out there on the track and people are looking at you, you have a voice to spread the word of Christ and the Lord.
That's wonderful. You know, one thing I really admire about not just you, but you're a very humble man. I can tell that. I've known that through the people that know you. And the reason that God put you in this place is great, but also matched up with Kingdom Racing. Could you tell everybody just a little bit about the vision behind Kingdom Racing and why it exists? Because I think it's pretty powerful, and I hope people would be interested in hearing that.
I started working with Kingdom Racing last year. Now, you hear Kingdom Racing, and it's yes, it is a race team, but it's also a ministry. When we go to these racetracks, you're out there on a Sunday and you're kind of working on a Sunday, which is not what you're supposed to be doing. So, and all the race fans that come to the track, they're away from their church. So what we don't want to do is take these fans away from their church. So Kingdom Racing and also with IndyCar Ministries, we are taking church to them and helping to spread the word of Christ, at the racetrack. But I got involved with Kingdom Racing last year. Last year was my first year racing in IndyCar. My journey with Christ started about 6 years ago when I raced in go-karts. I had a very nasty go-karting wreck, punctured lung, broken ribs, crushed vertebrae, and I had tears, lacerations on my brain. And it was in Italy, and on the way to the hospital, I didn't know what was happening to me. The doctors were screaming, and blood was coming out, so I'm sorry if you're eating your barbecue right now. But I was scared, I was an 18-year-old kid. I thought I was going to die. Got to the hospital, and I was lying on the hospital bed, being wheeled into the operating theatre, and that's when I just opened up to God. I said, God, I don't know if you're real, I don't know if you're here, I don't know where you are, but if you're real, can you please help me now? I need you now, and I don't know what you've got planned for me, but can you just please keep me calm and give me the strength to get through this? And it's a weird feeling because you're in there, you think you're going to die, but this calm just descends on you. And I know that sounds very Hollywood, but it's something that before I didn't really believe, but then afterwards it was just unreal. There were whiles I was lying, I was chilled, it was like, all right, I'm just going to die, but whatever, I'm going to watch TV later. So, I just put myself in his hands and I trusted him, and that's the start of my journey, my walk with Christ.
Well, Martin, I thank you for being here today, and I thank you for representing Christ, also in your public life, personal life, and in racing. And I just want to say thank you for being here today. He flew all the way down here from Indianapolis today to be with us, and we want to thank you, Martin, for being here. And all you guys, if you want to get